Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another episode of Mang-Gust Volume 2. Coming in at number 9, we have Negima. Uh, now, Negima is an interesting one as it did have two different animes. One, which covered the first 6 volumes of the manga, and another anime that covered nothing from the manga and just kind of did its own thing. Every single episode was just filler. Everything was filler. They did absolutely nothing like how they did in the manga. And it is one of the few examples of filler that I can actually think of and think, yeah, I can enjoy that. Because that second anime goes just balls deep in just how insane it gets. It just goes all out and does all these crazy things that you would never expect to see in a series about Negima, and I really enjoyed that. If you're gonna do filler, just go all out with it and go balls to the walls insane with the different stories that you tell with filler, because we know none of it matters. So at the very least, just do shit that no one would ever think would be in the series. Like, who cares? Like, it's based in ancient Japan in the Edo period. Oh well, if you're in a filler arc, just have them randomly go into space and suddenly turn it into a sci-fi. You know, do something that is just so out there and insane, that it will be incredibly memorable because it's filler, so it doesn't matter anyway. And that's what the second anime did for Negima. That said, I am still very, very sad that we have never gotten a proper anime adaptation of this manga. The first anime covered the first 6 volumes of the manga, but then just kind of did its own thing and had a very, very stupid ending. And I actually found myself liking the second anime attempt more than the first one. Um, but regardless, the manga itself is still just the far superior story. Between all 3 options, the manga is just vastly superior to anything either of the animes have done. So if you're going to get into this series, I definitely recommend you go for the manga. If after you've read the manga, if you want, you can go and watch the second Negima series um, that had been released. Um, and you'll know it's the second one because it'll have better animation than the first. The first one had animation from like late 90s, early 2000s animation, where the second attempt had like late 2000s, early 2010s animation. There is a very clear difference between the two animation styles. Uh, so you'll know which one you're watching from the animation alone. Uh, but that said, uh, the story is about a the story is about a um, a 10-year-old wizard, Negi, who is the youngest wizard to graduate from the Magic Academy, and he now has to go out into the real world and do a job for 3 years while still continuing to train. If he is able to go undiscovered for 3 years and improve in his magical abilities, um, he will be seen as a high class. He will be seen as a high class wizard, which is his goal. He wants to be a high class wizard. And he ends up becoming a teacher at an all girls middle school. Um, and uh, basically all of the girls just absolutely adore him and think he's the cutest thing. Like there are several students in this series that just give off major Ara Ara vibes. And this was before the Ara Ara One-sans like became super popular. Like Negima was doing that before it became a popular thing. Um, so that's that's interesting to see how Negima did it first. Um, and he's not very good at keeping what he is a secret because within the first week, a couple people actually find out, and he has to essentially keep them quiet by forming contracts with them. Um, and by forming contracts, they end up they end up gaining magical forms and magical abilities. So it's it's fantasy, but there's also a bit of like magical girl stuff going on in there. Um, and there's plenty of sci-fi elements in there as well. Actually, there's a healthy amount of sci-fi elements, mystery, um, suspense, of quite a bit of horror in the latter half of the series. It's a whole smorgasbord of genres, and then of course you've got like comedy and harem, because he's got 31 students, as well as a childhood friend who has a thing for him. So automatically he's got like 32 girls right there. Um, so yeah, it is a very entertaining series. I very much enjoy it. Um, as far as who my personal favorite character is, that would honestly be a girl named Nodoka, who is who is basically like the shy bookworm of the series. And when I first started reading it, I was really into the shy nerdy girls. Like I was really into that stuff. I liked any female character that was shy nerdy girl. I still like the shy nerdy girls. I think they're still good characters. Um, uh, and she definitely does the most out of all the girls. She does the most to try to get with him. Um, Pretty much all the other girls just kind of like watch him from afar and think about how much they like him, but they don't actively go after him and ask him to go on dates with them or um, confess their feelings for him. Nodoka is actually going out and being assertive and actually showing that she likes him and she wants to be in a relationship with him. Um, and she's the only character to actually do that in the series, at least to that extent. There are a couple other characters that end up confessing their feelings for him later down the line, but that's pretty much as far as their relationship goes with him. They don't actively try to go on dates with him like Nodoka does. Nodoka is very assertive, despite how shy she is. She is very assertive when it comes to the guy she likes, and that was another reason I was attracted to her. I really liked that. Like she's shy and quiet around most people, but when it comes to the guy she likes, she will actively go after him and be like, "Hey, I like you. Please date me." And that's just really nice. It's just a different side of her that she only shows that one special person. And I don't know. I like that. I think that that's a good character trait. Um, Now, the series went on for 38 volumes, and when did uh, when did the last volume come out? It released back in 2013. So, God, it was April 2013. So in just a few months, it will have been 10 years. In just half a year, it will have been 10 years since the series ended. Um, all right, let's see. What about the anime? The second anime was ended in 2007, in March 2007. So it's been 15 years. No, no. Yeah, 15 years. It's been 15 years since the second anime happened. And yeah, I don't think we will ever see a proper anime adaptation of this series. It is a fantastic manga, so many twists and turns. Um, each of the there are several different arcs, but they each last about like three to four volumes. Each arc lasts about 3 to 4 volumes, at least until you get to the 21st volume. From volume 21 all the way to the end of the series, pretty much the second half of the series is all one giant arc, and it's the magical world arc. And yeah, this the pretty much the entire second half of the series takes place in a magical world um, instead of the human world with the school that all the girls go to. Um, and so he spent so long in their world, and so in the second half of the series, all the girls end up coming to his world. Um, and yeah, things get a lot more action packed, and things get a bit darker, and um, there's a lot more twists and turns that happen in the second half of the series. And yeah, it's fantastic. I absolutely love the series. I absolutely love the series. Um, and yeah, I really really think that this manga deserves a proper anime adaptation. There are 38 volumes. That is more, and each volume has 10 different chapters in it. There are more than enough chapters to have there are more than enough chapters to have like at least 4 or 5 seasons worth of 4 or 5 seasons worth of anime, and each season being 24 episodes. There is 24 or 25. There's more than enough content to do that. Um, but I don't think it will ever happen, unfortunately. But I still wanted to bring attention to the series. It's still one of my favorite mangas. My one complaint is that we unfortunately never get to see who he ends up with at the end. Throughout the second half of the story, there were a lot of hints there were a lot of hints that he would end up going for either Nodoka, uh, Yui, or Ayaka, or Evangeline. Those are the four characters that we were getting hints for. Um, Specifically, there were a couple of chapters towards the end of the series where a certain character ends up going forward in time, and ends up meeting both Ayaka and Evangeline. And Ayaka says that she only ever loved Negi. However, she has grandkids. She's an old woman and she has grandkids. But she says that she's never loved anybody other than Negi. So, if she's never loved anybody, like, how does she have anybody else? How does she have grandkids? Is Negi did Negi turn out to be her husband? And then there's Evangeline, who it seemed like she was falling for Negi throughout the series. She was starting to fall for him, and uh, the way she talked to the character who went forward in time, it sounded like she was extremely close with Negi. Um, and and then in the last like 3 chapters, we focus a lot on Yui, and it seems like it seems like she was also very close. It seems like she was also very close with Negi, and she basically became his star pupil. And she just, like, the way she talks, the way she acts, and responds to questions about Negi, leads me to wonder, okay, did something happen between her and Negi? And then, of course, Nodoka, who, as always, throughout the entire series, is extremely close with Negi. So all 4 of those characters were candidates to be the one that he would actually choose to be with. And unfortunately, we just never got to see who he ultimately chose. We never got to see that. And I did hear some people saying that there's a sequel that there's a sequel series. There was a rumor going around for a while where, like, some people were claiming that there was a sequel series to Negima that was about Negi's kid, and that in that sequel series, it was revealed that Negi chose to hook up with a girl that he had zero romantic interest in, and this said girl, throughout the entirety of the original Negima series, uh, was developing feelings for and entering into a lesbian relationship with her best friend, and the 2 of them were, like, actually becoming a thing. And the rumor says the rumor going that was going around said that she just decided to not be a lesbian anymore and to just hook up with Negi, even though neither of them had ever had any sort of romantic tension between them throughout the entirety of the series. That was a rumor going around, but no, that didn't happen. Sorry. So, yeah, we unfortunately never found out who he got together with, because that was just a rumor. That's not real. Nope. But yeah, so my money is on Nodoka. I personally, I've always been a supporter of Nodoka. I think that she deserves to be with him after everything she's gone through, everything she's done for him. She deserves it. But yeah, let me know in the comment box below. What do you guys think of this series? Have you read Negimo? Are you a fan of it? Let me know. And I will see you all in the next video for number 8. Take care, everybody.